Bonjour mesdames et messieurs. In this video I'm going to show you how to achieve one of the most popular looks you can find on the internet, on Instagram, on 500px. It's called the desaturated contrasty look with a little bit of orange or red used by big influencers. I'm going to show you how to create it and how to use it with presets in Lightroom and in Photoshop Camera Raw. Let's do it. Mesdames et messieurs, what I'm about to show you is probably the most, not kept secret, but the most successful way of retouching photos out there on the web. I call it the Contrasty Desaturated Look. So on my Instagram, I now have passed 115,000 people on Instagram. And what I try to do is I try to do color themes. So right now I'm like in the sort of blue hour, before I was in the blue hour magenta. Then I was in the golden hour. I find that if you have a feed that looks very, harmonious in colors, it's always good. But check this out. This is how I got the idea to make this video, because also one of the things that people request me the most. That photo is got 7,137 likes. That is the highest I ever got for a photo. The average likes that I get per photo is usually between 2 and 3,000. 4,000 is really exceptional. 2,000, well, this one got 5,000, 2,600, 5,000, but 7,000 was unheard of. But if you look, there is a lot of very popular photographers using this style. So what it is a lot of contrast, like this one, for example, or this one, a lot of contrast, and you usually have one color that sort of sticks out. This is Ryan Miller, a very talented photographer. He has this style, but he is not the only one. It's probably the most requested style. Like, for example, Alan Palander, who's got 693,000 followers on Instagram. So his photos are very dark, very black, and there's usually just one color sticking out, which is the red, right? So that's the motif, is very high contrast and only one color, usually red or orange, sticking out. Very, very popular. Peter Mckinnon, who is one of the most popular YouTube guys, an amazing artist, same thing. Look at this photo how everything is kind of black. There's a bit of green in the shadows. There's just one color sticking out. And the good thing about this is that because this is a great example, because it's such a high contrast, it does create impact, but it doesn't sort of look over retouched because the colors are not so much saturated, which is really cool. But for example, Serial Gupil, she's an influencer who started a year ago. She's got 42,000 followers on Instagram now. She has a very similar style, but more girly, where you have the orange, but it's instead of going to the black, she goes to the white. And as I showed you, this is a style that I love to play around with many styles. So I'm going to show you how to achieve this style, and I'm going to start by my most popular photo ever. And basically, I have a pack of presets called my signature preset, 280 presets, which you can get at a very low price. The link is right under the video where you can get all these presets. But I'm going to show you, if you don't want to buy them, how you can build it on your own, or you can support this channel and get all the presets, and you will love it. I'm also going to show you how to use it in Camera Raw. So stay until the end, because I know there's a lot of Camera Raw users out there who don't like Lightroom. Now, I'll show you how to do that in Camera Raw, but you have to stay until the end. So this is how the style is going to go. So you put the contrast almost all the way. Okay, step number 1. Step number 2, I usually don't play with the highlights first. I open the shadows, and then I crush the blacks, really a lot. Okay? Then you add a bit of texture and a lot of clarity. But the secret is not this. The secret lies in the way you toggle the hue and saturation. So you go to this panel called hue and saturation, and basically you boost the reds and the orange, the two first one, and you desaturate everything else. And that's the basic of this style. Okay, and then of course on this one I'm going to press auto. It's pretty straightforward. It's actually very easy to achieve. On this one, but there's a few things. So now you play with the highlights. You can decide to, have a blown out sky or not a blown out sky. You decide what to do. You play with the exposure as you want. You can play a little bit with the shadows, but that's the general idea. Now, there's different things, I actually, on my preset, I made this a little more complex. I'm going to show you how to use it. So for example, sometimes what I do is I add on top of it a little bit of split toning. So on this one, what I did And that's why like Peter Mckinnon does a lot. I'm going to go here in the shadows and just add a bit of tilt. So tilt is between green and blue. That's this color. It's called teal. A little bit of teal. Just a little tad of teal like this in the shadows. And on this one, I think maybe a little bit less contrast, a bit less clarity, maybe a little over the top. Actually, more contrast, and then lower a little bit. And that's basically that. Now, let me show you. This is another version that I did. When you play, so when you have my preset I call the signature preset. It's 280 preset. You have a pack called Special Effect Preset. In the Special Effect Preset, you have, and the link is below this video. If you can get the pack, it's really cheap. It's going to change your life. I got over 1,000 emails, people telling me they couldn't believe how it helped them grow on Instagram. Check this out. One click, Urban Contrast Dark. Boom. I love it. It's even better than what I tried to do manually. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit. I'm just going to make it auto on this one. And then you can tweak it. You can go into split toning like I did before and add a little bit of colors in split toning. Maybe a bit of blue, maybe a bit of green. And not only is this, by the way, not only this is like my little bit of green. Not only this was my most liked photo ever, but also it's my most sold ever photo in galleries. Let me show you another one. So let's go Urban Contrast Gold. Now, gold blue lighter. Oh, I love that. Urban Contrast Red, okay? And then on this one, I think, open a bit the shadows. I'm going to, a preset is a starting point. I think I want to desaturate it a little bit. Here, it's too bright. Remember, the eyes go to the brightest part of the photo. First, I'm going to make my photo straight because I can. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of gradient just to get the attention off of here and double click on effect and just lower the exposure. Check this out. Maybe on this one, maybe I take a little brush and I double click on effect. I add a bit of exposure. I lower the clarity and just to add a little bit more diffuse light here. But this was a photo that did really well. I can even lower the saturation even more if I want to. So let me show you the before. This is the before. And this is the after. Crazy, no? Okay, so this photo is 3 raw files that I made into a pano. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can do this in Camera Raw. But there's a trick. For this to work really smooth, you need to have the latest version of Photoshop. Because when you have the latest version of Lightroom in Photoshop, once you install the zip file that you can get with the link below the video, once you install it in Lightroom Classic, a lot of people don't know this, it's there in Photoshop. So let me show you. So this photo, for example, I'm in Bridge. I'm going to double click on it and open it up in Photoshop. It's going to open as in Camera Raw. Here I am in Camera Raw, and check this out. This is a new Camera Raw. Here is the preset logo. It's actually the same logo that you find on Lightroom Mobile. You click on here, and check this out. My special effect preset pack, which you can get, the link is under the video, is here. And I can go to down. So on the special, I'm going to show that to you. So first, let's do the crazy urban retouch. Ooh, I love that. Or this, or this. You just go through the preset, find something that you like. Ooh, I like this one. And then you can go back to the regular settings and you can, on this one, I think it's maybe a little too saturated still. So I can add a bit more contrast and I can even lower a little bit the saturation if I want to, but I like the style. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my crop tool, constrain to the image, click on done, done. And boom, it's going to take it back into Bridge and it's going to be, fully retouched. I can double click and open it up again in Camera Raw and I can try a different style. And in fact, if you've got my special effect presets, you're also going to get my amazing Ansel Adams type retouching. See how that works really well on that photo. Check this out. Really cool. One click. Let me show you a different style you can use if you have this pack. The Hollywood style. Look at this. Hollywood style is just a way to make a photo that looks kind of boring, more interesting, And this goes a long way. I mean, look at these people which have like 500,000, 1 million followers. It's really, even for me, I was so surprised to see how much following I got once I use this. It's just probably the most popular, that's a little too crazy, the most popular, style out there. Let me show you another photo, still in Camera Raw. So I go back to Bridge. This one, for example, this is Serial, this influencer that I'm a good friend with. So she's actually is the wife of my wife's son. and she's amazing. She gained 40,000 followers on Instagram. So I'm gonna use the same. Look at this. I think there's one that's gonna match. Yeah, this one is too crazy on her. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that I like. Check this out. No, this one's too much, but this one is kind of cool. You see, one click. Okay, let's try another one. Let's go back to bridge, and then this one. This was a street in Angers, and which is a city on the west of France. Let's see. Let's go back to the presets. I love this urban preset. They're so cool. Ooh, moody. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I kind of like this one. Boom. You know, and you can always go in there and say, oh, the highlights is too blown away. It's a style. It's contrast with desaturation. But give it a shot on your photos. You will be amazed. Okay, one more so you can see the power of this preset. This is a shot that I did of Arthur. He's a comedian that I work with when I direct short movies. One of my favorite comedian. And he just got a really badass motorbike. So you have to be careful on the skin tone. Some of this can be really extreme. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take this one. I like this one. And again, I might want to recover some of the highlights. I'll go back up there. So I'm in camera raw. I'm doing this in camera raw, and voila. I can even add a little gradient here in camera raw. Gradients are now on the right side. And so whether if you don't like like this, and then to make it a little more interesting. I hope you like this style. Give it a shot. Get my signature presets. You won't believe them. They're really good. I use them every day. And I hope it brings you luck. Thank you very much.